Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Natasha. If it is your first time here, today's video I'm going to be putting this look together using the new Selena Gomez Rare Beauty line. So if you're interested in this video, just keep watching.
Now close your eyes.
Okay, so I picked up pretty much everything from the brand. The only things I didn't pick up were the eyeliner because I really don't ever wear liquid eyeliner, and the Blot and Glow little compact. I don't have very oily skin. I don't blot honestly ever, so I just felt like that was kind of a waste of money, as well as I tried really hard to not overbuy on like lip colors. I got one of each lip color. Not one of each lip color, but I got out of the lip formulations, I got one color from each formulation, and I didn't go too hard on everything because I'm trying to be better about not buying every shade of everything because I don't need that. So got pretty much everything like I said. Let's go on the website here and just see kind of what this brand is about. So it says here, Rare Beauty is breaking down the unrealistic standards of perfection. This makeup is made to feel good in without hiding what makes you unique, because Rare Beauty is not about being someone else, but about being who you are. So cute. That's a really cute little message. I actually really do like Selena Gomez. I know that recently I was like talking shit about all these celebrity faced makeup brands, and I still feel that way most of the time, but I was really excited when this came out. Once I actually saw pictures of all the products and kind of like the message of the brand, the vibe and all of that, I did get pretty excited. So let's just jump right into it. Like I said, I got pretty much everything. So the first thing I want to put on is a little bit of this lip balm. This is the With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm. So I will say the packaging for everything is a little boring just from the outside cartons. Now I haven't opened it up and actually looked at it yet, but I will say that this is just kind of a little meh, a little lackluster to me. But I mean, you throw this piece away, so I know a lot of people really don't care about that and a lot of people do care about that. I'm kind of in the middle here. I personally do love when like the unicarton is like really designed and really cute or really chic, but at the same time, like I do just throw them away, so it doesn't really matter that much. So let's go ahead and open up this lip balm. Let me see how much this was. So the With Gratitude Dewy Lip Balm go for $16, and it looks like there is 9 different shades. I just got one. I got the shade Honor, which is the clear shade. Oh, cute. Okay, this packaging is kind of interesting because it is flat right here. So it has like a complete flat back, and then it's just the little bullet. It says Rare Beauty on it. My light is kind of... Anything that has like a lighter white packaging or a beige packaging, I notice the studio lights always really like blind it out. You can't see it very much. And it looks like on the top here, you probably can't even see that because it's white on white. There is like a little Rare Beauty emblem right here. So let's just go ahead and open this up. Is this a... Ooh, nice. It has a little bit of a magnet closure to it. I really like when lipsticks have that. And then we have just the clear balm here. So, ooh, it does have a smell to it. What's the smell? It's like a little fruity but a little sugar cookie-y at the same time. It feels really nice. That is a really nice little lip balm. Cute. And I actually really like when lip balms come in like a lipstick tube. It just makes it feel so much more like glamorous to me, but that feels really, really nice. We'll have to, you know, test it out, see how it goes, but so far, really nice. Like that. $16 is a little bit more expensive for a lip balm, but they do come in a bunch of shades. So if you're wanting more of like a tinted lip, I don't think $16 is too bad. I will say everything in this collection definitely has a more high-end price. I mean, it is sold at Sephora, so it is going to be just a little bit more expensive. Okay, so next let's start going in with the face. This is the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer, a weightless universal gel primer enriched with an ultra-fine pearls from a lit within glow. So this came in 2 sizes. I got mine in the 0.5 ounces because I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, and I didn't want to get a giant primer. And this was $14 for the mini size. That's not terrible. It's not great. Let's open her up. So all the packaging seems to have this really light, neutral, nudie, pinky, white vibe to it. It says Rare Beauty here. That's cute. And let's just get a little bit of it out here on my hand. No smell to it, that's nice. And it has like a kind of a white pearly vibe to it, so that was definitely way too much. I did not need that much on the back of my hand. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all over my face. And I actually did pick up the brushes and sponges as well. So let's go ahead and open up one of the brushes. So this is the Liquid Touch Foundation brush, and this retails for $28, which is definitely expensive for a brush. I tend to buy most of my brushes honestly from like the drugstore, so this is a little bit more expensive for a brush. OMG, I hate plastic, like this type of plastic on stuff. So hard to take off. Are you kidding me? Okay. This is an interesting shaped brush. So this is the foundation brush. It does feel really soft, and I do know that this brand is cruelty free, so I am going to assume that they are synthetic fibers. So let's go ahead and start blending out that primer on the face. The brush feels really nice. It feels really dense. It honestly reminds me of like an IT Cosmetics brush because of how dense it's feeling. But it feels really nice. It's really soft as well. I feel like this brush, if you used it with the foundation, would really help you get like a full coverage. And you know what? I felt like I pumped out way too much of that primer, but it's actually like, I don't know if the brush is really absorbing it or if it's just sinking into the face really fast, but I used pretty much all of it. The shape of this brush is really nice because it's making it really easy to get kind of in like close to the mouth and the creases of the nose. Okay, so that did add a really nice glow to my face. It's not really shimmery or glittery. It just is like a nice all over glow. It really reminds me of the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. It has kind of that same exact vibe to it. It doesn't really add any color. It's just like a nice glow all over the face, and you guys know I'm all about that. I wonder also like if this would blend into a foundation really well. Sometimes I like to mix glowy primers with foundations and it makes them even more glowy, and I think this looks really nice so far. So moving on to foundation, this is the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation. I got mine in the shade 160C. It looks like there is 47 shades, which is a great shade range to start off with. What does it say about this foundation? Say anything on here? A foundation elixir that feels barely there with building coverage and boosting your natural glow. So I think this is a medium to full coverage foundation. I do really like the packaging. It is really cute with this like ball on top. It is a frosted bottle, which I usually don't love just because I find that it's harder to really find your shade when the bottle is a little frosted, but I bought it online, so that's more of a like you buying it in person type of problem. But I do think the packaging is really cute, really chic. I didn't read this like on their website or anything, but I did read this like in an article somewhere that all of the packaging was designed in mind for people that have motor difficulties. So if you have like fine motor skill difficulties like with your hands, it is designed to make it easier for you to open. I personally don't have difficulties like that, so I can't really speak on that, but I do think that is really cool that they put the thought in that behind the brand. So let's go ahead and open this. I really hope this is the right shade. Now that I'm kind of looking at it, it looks like it might be a little dark. No smell to it. It does have a doe foot applicator for this foundation, which I don't love, I don't hate. I like a pump foundation more, I feel like. There's quite a bit just on that from that first pull out. I do prefer a pump foundation just because I like to mix my foundations sometimes, but I don't really mind the old doe foot. And I believe this was, did I say how much this was? And this foundation retails for $29, which is a little bit more on the spendy side for a foundation, I would say. I'm really liking this brush. I honestly didn't think I was going to love it when I bought it because I don't know, I just am like, I'm stuck on my e.l.f. buffing foundation brush. Like that's just like the best buffing brush in the world to me. But this one is actually really nice, and I think I did a pretty good shade match with this foundation. I will say it does have a medium coverage. I could see how it could be built up to a full coverage, and I'm sure if you did a little bit more and used a sponge, which I do have the sponge, I am going to be using that for my under eyes, I'm sure that it would sheer out a little bit more. Okay, so that is just one full coat of the foundation. It does have a nice medium coverage. I will say that it does have a nice like luminous dewy look to it as well. It blended out really nicely. It hasn't fallen into any of my creases yet. It's not picking up on any dry patches or anything. I'm really liking this brush. This is a really nice foundation so far. Just based purely on first impressions, I think it looks beautiful on the skin. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It just feels really nice. It blended out really easy. I mean, you guys saw. Cute. Okay. So I did pick up the Liquid Touch Concealer Brush. This retails for $16, which is still pretty expensive, but actually a lot cheaper than the foundation brush. Oh, it's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Do you see what I'm talking about with this plastic? I hate that plastic on the outside of literally anything. It's the worst plastic in the world. It's so irritating. It never comes off nice. See this? I'm like ripping it into 1,000 pieces. It's so annoying. Okay, here we go. So here is the concealer brush. It has the same exact shape as the foundation brush, but it is a lot smaller. Here's a little side by side for you. You can see that they are pretty much the same brush, just in different sizes. I personally really like putting on my concealer with a brush and then going over it with a sponge. So let's open up and look at this sponge real quick, and then I'll go get it wet and we'll put the concealer on. This is the Liquid Touch Multitasking Sponge. It says it's a plush sponge with a diamond-shaped tip for precise application and customizable coverage. And this sponge retails for $14, which isn't the worst, isn't the best. A beauty blender is still $20, which I have just recently said I don't really feel like there's any reason to spend over $10 on a sponge nowadays, because there's so many affordable sponges now at the drugstore that perform amazing. This guy is $14. It is very weird shaped. It is diamond shaped, and it is extremely porous in comparison to some of the other sponges I have. I'm gonna go get this wet, and then we will go in with the concealer. Okay, so I got the sponge wet and it grew like a bunch. It probably tripled in size. It is so extremely porous. I'll insert a little clip here I did with my phone so you can get a more close-up look at how many holes are really in this sponge. It's not very like close knit like a lot of sponges. It is a lot more open. So I'm curious of how that is going to perform. But let's move on to the concealer. So I got two different shades just because I didn't know exactly what shade I needed. This is the Liquid Touch Brightening Concealer. This retails for $19, and it is described as a lightweight hydrating concealer with cake-free medium to full coverage that lasts while brightening skin with a radiant finish. So these are actually super cute too. What I did notice is the top of these, the shape is different. It's almost more of like a M&M shape than the foundations. So the foundation is like a round ball, and the concealer is more of like a, you know, like a Skittle or an M&M or something. Like that's the only way I could think to describe it. So I picked up the shades 110 Neutral and 130 Neutral. I was a little worried that 110 Neutral would be a little too, oh, that's interesting. The doe foot has a very angular shape to it, very similar to the brushes actually. I bet that makes it really easy to get all up in the corner of your eye. Yeah, this shade is definitely way too bright for my under eyes. So let's go in with 130. No smell. A little bit better, but still probably a little bit too bright for my face. So first I'm going to go in with the brush here. Feels exactly the same as the foundation brush. It feels extremely soft and really dense. And let's use this first to kind of put that on my eyelid as well. So far, I will say I do really like both of the brushes. I really like the shape of them. I really like the feel of them. I like the little handle on here. The point makes it really easy to get like in this area of the eye. And then I'm just going to add a tiny bit more of the 130 neutral. And then I'm going to go in with the sponge and see how that performs. It is huge. It feels just like huge even trying to get it under my eyes here. Interesting. It even feels a little strange on the face compared to like the sponges I really like using. So this is like the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge. And then I do have a beauty blender here that I do use. This one you could definitely feel how it feels more porous. It almost feels like a loofah, like a shower loofah or like a kitchen sponge a little bit. It's not doing a bad job. Like it definitely is adding a little bit more luminosity to it as a sponge does. Let me just pounce this everywhere just cause. And it's blending everything out. It's not picking anything up or making anything look weird, but it just has like a weird feeling to it. So let's go ahead and do the other eye here. I will say the doe foot picks up a lot of product, and so I recommend kind of scraping it a little bit before you go in under the eye, or else I think it'll be really easy to go way too hard with the product, which is kind of what I did on this side a little bit. Then I'm going to take the sponge.
So tell me what you're thinking now. Show me how to dance. So tell me what you're thinking now.
Okay, so let me look close up on this concealer. I will say that just right off the bat, I am really liking it. It feels extremely lightweight, but I will say it does definitely have that medium coverage. I probably could build this up to a full coverage very easily. It hasn't started creasing yet. It didn't get patchy or weird. It blended out really easy, and honestly, it just feels so lightweight, which is something I really look for in an under eye concealer. I feel like concealers are the one product that I am the most picky about, especially under my eyes, and so far actually I think this is really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a tiny bit on my chin and my forehead. I don't really need it, but I just want to balance it out a little bit because this concealer was so light. And I'm just going to go straight in with the sponge with that. See how that goes. I mean, the sponge is performing really well. The main thing that I am worried about when looking at this sponge is that it might fall apart when washing it because it is so porous. I've had sponges before where when you wash them, they kind of just tear apart. And for some reason, this just gives me like those vibes. Like I feel like it might just fall apart while I'm washing it. So I will keep that in mind when I wash it later today. And I'll put that in the description box down below how that went. But So far, I am actually really impressed with the face products. Everything looks really nice. The foundation still looks really good. It's not settling or getting weird. The concealer still feels really nice. Now, there isn't a setting powder and there isn't any bronzing products in this collection, so I'm going to hop off camera real quick, throw on just a little bit of bronzer, and then we'll come back and we will do the blush and the highlight and finish up the face. So I will be right back. I'm just going to throw on a little bit of bronzer. Okay, so I went ahead and put on a little bit of powder bronzer. That went on really nice right over the foundation. Didn't have any issues, just went on just like normal. I did forget to mention that concealer comes in 47 shades, just like the foundation, which is great. That is so many shades. That's so awesome. I totally forgot that I did pick up the Brow Harmony pencil and gel. So this retails for $22. Is a little spendy for a brow pencil, but I feel like $20 kinda is where most of them are. Like the Benefit Precisely My Brow, the Anastasia brow pencils, like they tend to all be around that price. I got mine in the shade Warm Brown. So this is a dual-ended waterproof pencil and tinted brow gel with a precision brush to sculpt and set. So I was actually really intrigued by this because it has a brow gel on one side. So this is what it looks like out of the box. Pretty cute. And then we have one side here that is the brow gel. That is a really tiny little spoolie there. And then the other side here, which is the brow pencil, and it has more of a brow definer, like the Anastasia brow definer shape to it, that kind of triangle-y shape. So I actually think I'm going to go in just with the brow gel. I have been loving just doing a really kind of bushy, feathery brow with just a brow gel. So let's go in to this side here. The spoolie is really small. I'm going to scrape just a little bit of the product off. I think this like might not be the best shade for me. I got it in Warm Brown and it's looking a little too warm for me, but let's just see how it goes. So the spoolie is really small, but it is pretty firm, I'm noticing, as I'm pulling it through the brow hairs here. So that is nice. It is really kind of gripping on to each one of the hairs. You know what? I'm actually liking that, and I don't think the color is too warm. It's actually looking really nice on my brows here. Cute. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other side. It does pick up a lot of product, so I would recommend just scraping it a little bit. I always feel like less is more when it comes to working with products, and then you can just build it up as you need it.
You show me how to dare to love, so tell me what you're thinking of.
I'm getting a little sloppy on this side. So the one thing about this wand though that I'm not loving is because it is so small, I find that I'm kind of getting like a little bit of a clumpy situation. Like a lot of my hairs are kind of pinching together on the brow here. So I'm going to wait until that dries down a little bit, and then I'm going to take a dry spoolie and run it through there, and I think that that will really resolve the issues I'm having here. But so far I do think it is a nice brow gel. It does look nice. It didn't have any major issues. Brow gels are kind of hard, like you kind of have to wear them for a little while to tell, but cute. I really do love that this is a gel on one side and a pencil on the other side. I think that's like really inventive, really cute. A lot of brands have been coming out with these kind of dual-ended things, like Urban Decay has the brow blade. One side is a pencil and the other side is like a brow marker. So this is just very similar except for it's a gel. This is a product that I think I'm definitely going to have to keep playing with and kind of working with over time to see how I really like it. What are my real thoughts on it? Based on first impressions, it's not my favorite brow product. I don't hate it. I don't love it. you know, that might change. I'll play around with it a little bit more, and if I have any more thoughts on it, I will put that in the description box down below. So let's move on to blush. So I got 2 shades of the Soft Pinch Dewy Liquid Blush. This is a long-lasting liquid blush that blends and builds softly into a healthy flush. This was the product that I was most excited to come out for the launch. These retail for $20 a piece, which seems about right for a high-end liquid blush. And I got 2 shades here. I got the shade Happy, which is a nice kind of bubblegummy pink shade, and then I got the shade Joy, which is a more corally red shade. They have the same packaging as the concealer, where it has that more of like an M&M top, but these ones are shiny, while these are the, you know, like more matte beige color, and these are more chrome. So I'm going to go in with the blush in Joy, which is a more corally shade, and it does have the doe foot applicator on this as well. So what I think I'm going to do is let's just do a little dot like that, and then I'm going to take actually the foundation brush. No smell to the blush. Oh, that's really pigmented. Really pigmented. Okay, so 1 dot, maybe too much. Wow, I did not expect it to be that pigmented. Oh my god. Okay, well, I literally put on enough on that 1 dot to do both cheeks here. Heavy. Oh my god, that's so much blush. Okay, let's go in with the sponge and see if that'll help. Kinda. Wow, okay. That is insanely pigmented. You saw I just put, you know, that tiny bit on the cheek there, and that was enough to do both of my cheeks a lot. We'll see if this fades or not. It did blend out really nicely. It is just extremely pigmented. So what I will do in the future, and what I recommend you doing if you get this product, is take a little bit and put it on the back of your hand and either go in with your fingers or go in really lightly with the brush, because that was a mess. That was so pigmented. I was not expecting that. It does have a really nice finish to it. I know some of the blushes are a dewy finish and some of them are more of a matte finish. These ones I picked up were in a more dewy finish. It looks really nice now that I got it blended out, and I will say the sponge really helped kind of absorb some of that product and mellow it out a little bit. Wow, I can't believe how pigmented that was, but it does look really nice on the skin, I will say that. So I would just keep that in mind when using the blushes, that they are extremely pigmented, but I do think they look really nice. They settled onto the skin really nicely. They just soaked right in. I do have like a nice flush to my cheeks now. Definitely used too much, but it is what it is. Okay, so moving on, let's go in with the liquid highlighter. This is called the Liquid Luminizer, and it says here that this is a silky second skin liquid highlighter that creates a lasting, soft, and luminous finish. This retails for $22, which I feel like is pretty on par for how expensive liquid highlighters usually are. I got mine in the shade Mesmerize, which is a rose bronze. It says it's Selena's go-to shade. I don't know why I thought me and Selena Gomez had the same skin tone. This is a little dark for me. I do find it interesting that some of the products, like the foundation and the highlighter here, have the same packaging with that big ball on the top, but the concealers and the blushes have the more M&M candy top to them, and then the blushes have a chrome top versus this top. So, and this has a chrome top too. So it's a little curious to me that they're all kind of different. I wonder how they determined what had the bigger ball and what had the little M&M. I'm calling it a candy top because to me this literally just looks like an M&M. Like, I don't know what else to call it. That's what it is. So let's go in with this highlighter. I'm going to put this on my hand and not go directly in on my face with it. If it's anything like with the blush, it's probably going to be extremely pigmented. No smell to it. Rose Bronze. I tend to go for a more goldy shade of a highlight. I like a more champagne. I like a more gold. So I don't really know what I was thinking when I picked this up, but damn, that's pretty. It is definitely a rosy pink color. So for this, I'm actually going to go in with the sponge. I'm going to take the clean side of the sponge I haven't used yet and just dab this all over it. And let's start with the nose. I love a good nose highlight. Now my fear here is, oh, that is really glowy, is that it's just a little bit too dark for me, and so it's going to look, you're going to be able to really see the demarcation line between the highlighter versus the everything else. So the sponge really does absorb product. That is something that I have figured out while using this sponge, is it does absorb a lot of product. So I'm already needing to go back in with just a little bit more on here in order to get the cheek highlight. I will say it is a very pretty liquid highlight. It's not glittery, it's not shimmery, it's just like a glow. This shade is a little too dark for me for sure, but it is pretty. I will say that. Let's do the other cheek here. Now, if you were to go in with a brush or your fingers, you would definitely be able to build that up and get a more boom-in highlight. But because I picked out a shade that is too dark for my skin, I don't want to go in too heavy with it, because you will really be able to see like the difference in coloration and the demarcation of where I put that highlight versus everything else, because it's not the best shade for me. But I will say it is pretty. I am interested in picking up one that is more in my shade range. So moving on from the highlight, I will say that lip balm is completely dried down on my lips now. It was very like slippery when I first put it on, and now it's pretty dry, but my lips do feel really nice. So far I am liking this. I love a good lip balm. I have so many different lip balms. They're all over my house. I have like 10 in my purse. Like, they're everywhere, so I'm always happy to add a new lip balm to my collection. Alright, so moving along, I only have 2 more products to try. The next one here is the Always an Optimist 4-in-1 Mist. This is a glow boosting mist that hydrates, sets, primes, and refreshes the skin, and this retails for $24. That's not terrible for a mist. I believe the Fenty mist is around the same price. Setting sprays tend to be a little bit more expensive. Cute bottling, just plain, you know, mist bottle. Let's see how the mist performs. It's not too bad. Ooh, what's that smell? Ooh, it smells very spa-like. How do I explain that though? How do I explain? Have you ever tried the Caudalie Skin Elixir Mist? It smells exactly like that. Let's go ahead and just spray some on the face, see how it feels. Yeah, very spa-like, very like essential oils. I think it smells really good actually. Let's see how it looks on the face. Feels really nice. It's not the finest mist in the world, but it is actually quite a fine mist. The mist that I love the most out of everything is this Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and I also really, really like the Glow Recipe Mist. This mist is just like out of this world, but I will say this mist actually is pretty nice. I was a little like expecting it to be a little bit more chunkier, but it is a nice fine mist. I love the smell. The smell is just so fresh, so just, I know spa-like is like a word a lot of people use to describe smells, and if you've never been to a spa, you're kind of like, what even is that smell? It's almost like cucumbery, natural, smells like tea a little bit, just like fresh in all of the right ways. Really nice. It didn't really add like, it didn't mattify the skin. It didn't add like a lot of dew to the skin, but it did feel really nice. Just kind of like it added a little bit of moisture throughout the day. So I definitely can see what they mean by a refreshing mist. Like if through the day you're like, oh, I need a little bit. If you had a lot of powder on your face, I think this would be really nice to help melt the powders into your face. So I'm excited to keep using this guy. So the last thing I got here was the Lip Souffle Matte Lip Cream, and this is the only product that came in a different color packaging as the rest of them. So I don't know if each color of the Lip Souffle comes in its color of box or if it's just the red one here. I got mine in the shade Inspire, which is said to be Selena's go-to shade on the website. And I actually was just watching a video recently where Selena Gomez made a comment about how one of her ex-boyfriends didn't like it when she wore like red lipsticks or bright color lipsticks. Like he didn't like it, he didn't want to kiss her, and so she was like, so I made a red lipstick. And I love that, because you shouldn't let anyone tell you how to wear your makeup. Like if a dude is like, oh, I don't like when you wear red lipstick, wear red lipstick because it's your lips, not his, okay? So cute. Has just like a nice matte soft touch packaging. I like that the tube is the same color as the lip. So let's go ahead and put this on. I love a good red lip. Has a very similar smell to the lip balm, so just like a very light sugar cookie-y smell to it. And right off the bat, looking at it, I can tell that it is more of a whipped formula. It has like a nice triangle-y doe foot. I don't love liquid lipsticks, but when I do prefer them in a more whipped formula because I find that to be more comfortable and less drying. So let's go ahead and just throw this on. I'm gonna have to get a little bit closer here. Pretty.
Show me how to dare to love. So tell me what you're thinking of.
Show me how to dare to love, love, love.
This is super comfortable right off the bat. It hasn't dried down yet, so I don't know if it's going to dry down fully matte. It does have a more of a soft matte appearance to it. I will say that it is very pigmented. I have only dunked in here that one time. I haven't went back in, and there still is some product on the wand here. Okay, so for the lip, I have some thoughts here. It is so comfortable, so pigmented. It still hasn't dried down. I don't think that it is going to dry down all the way and be one of those liquid lips where you can kind of just like eat anything, drink anything, make out with anyone, and it stays perfectly, you know, perfect. I think that it is going to move around and you are going to have to reapply it and kind of clean it up throughout the day. But I actually prefer that over a liquid lipstick that stays on your lips all day, just because I find that lips like this are more comfortable. Now I will say this shade is more of like a candy apple, more of a pink red than like a hot, warm, vibrant red, which is usually what I go to. I do still think that it is really pretty. It is really comfortable. I actually am excited to get some of the other colors in this formulation because of the fact that it is so comfortable, but keep in mind that you will have to keep an eye on this. I think if I kind of like wiped my hand on my face or if I ate or drank anything, it could transfer and make a little bit of a mess, but it is really comfortable actually. And there was no mascara or anything like that in this collection, so I'm not going to put any mascara on because of that, and because of where I live right now. The fires are insane and my eyes are already pretty irritated from how smoky it is outside, so I don't want to irritate them anymore. I'm not going to put any mascara on. So let's quickly just break down all the products and I'll give you my feeling on all of them. So let's start with the first thing I used today. This is the Rare Beauty Primer. I actually really liked this primer. I don't use primers to like extend the wear time of my makeup or to minimize pores, anything like that. I usually always use primers just to add more hydration or add more of a glow, and this did exactly that. It just added a nice glow all over the face. I will say this is very comparable to the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. That's what it reminds me of the most. It feels the same, it kind of looks the same. I did really enjoy this. I'm going to keep using up this little sample, and I definitely recommend getting the mini size if you're unsure about it, because it is still $14, but you get quite a bit in here, and so if you're wanting to just try it out, get the mini size. But I was actually really happy with this primer. So moving on to the foundation, I really like this foundation. It is extremely lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have anything on my skin right now. It looks really nice. It still hasn't settled or gotten weird at all. Now I will leave in the description box how it kind of wore throughout the day, because obviously I've only had it on for about 45 minutes right now, but it looks really good. It blended out really nicely. There is so many shades. I'm really excited to keep using this guy. Same with the concealers. The concealers feel so nice. Like they went on really nice. They blended out really nice. They look really good under my eyes. I haven't had any creasing or anything weird, so I am really excited to keep using these concealers. What was next? Next was the liquid blush. Now this is something I'm definitely going to have to play with more. It was extremely pigmented, so definitely go in with way less product than you think you're going to use. I recommend putting it on the back of your hand. I didn't do that. I went straight in with the face and I was able to clean it up, minimize how much I put on, but it still was a lot of pigment, which isn't a bad thing. That is actually a good thing, I think, but you just have to kind of work with it a little bit more. So I'm excited to keep playing with these guys. We have the highlight. I didn't get the right shade. It's a little too dark for me, so I can't really speak on how much I do or don't like the highlight just because the shade is just so off for me. I will say it's nice. It's not glittery. It's not chunky. It went on really nice, but I just didn't get the right shade, so, you know, it just doesn't work for me. The brow pencil, I only used the brow gel side of the pencil. It does look really nice. My brows do look good. It was a little messy and harder to work with because of the fact that the spoolie was so small and so skinny. It picks up so much product. It did make it a little bit messy. So this is something I'm going to have to keep playing with, keep seeing how I really like it. I will keep you guys updated on that. We have the setting spray. The setting spray was really nice. I really enjoyed the smell of it. I did like the mist. I did feel like it felt really nice and really refreshing on my skin. I can't really like speak so much about it because, you know, I've literally just used it for the first time, but it did feel really nice on the skin, so I am excited to keep using this guy. The brushes. I actually was pleasantly surprised with the brushes. Most of the time when makeup brands come out with brushes, I don't really like them or I don't really buy them because I find that they're too expensive. I was intrigued with these guys, so I picked them up. They are so soft, so dense. They work so nicely. I love the angular shape in it. It made it just really easy to get in the creases here, get up in the corners in here. I'm really excited to keep playing with these brushes. I feel like they are really nice. They are a little bit more expensive, but they feel really, really good quality to me, so I'm really excited to keep playing with these. The sponge, I'm not sold on yet. It was nice. I didn't really run into any issues with the sponge. I will say it absorbs a lot of product, so watch out for that. It is extremely porous. I'm gonna have to just keep playing with it. I am just like really right now so stuck on my e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge. Like that is like my favorite sponge ever right now. So I feel like you could do without the sponge, but if you just really love like trying new things out, try it out. Why not? So next we have the Dewy Lip Balm. The lip balm was really comfortable. It didn't get that like, you know, like white film that sometimes a lot of lip balms will like give you all over your mouth. I didn't get that. I think it's really nice. It's a lip balm. Like I don't really have that much to say about it. Smells good. I think the packaging is super cute. So lastly, we have the Lip Whip Souffle. I don't know if you could tell, but it is already kind of bleeding out onto my skin. So the color is kind of just like, you know, pulling out onto my skin. I don't love that. I think that if I would have put on a lip liner, I would have had less of that issue. But it is a liquid lipstick, and I find with liquid lipsticks, like you usually don't have to use a lip liner, or you usually like shouldn't need to use a lip liner because it is more of a liquid lipstick. But maybe because this is a whipped formula, it is going to need a lip liner because I do feel like it is kind of bleeding like in the corners of my mouth and underneath here. It still hasn't dried down all the way, but it is extremely comfortable. I am excited to try out more shades in this. The next time I use this, I will definitely put on a lip liner and I'll let you guys know if I'm still having that issue, but I think it's a cute lip. So that is everything that I got from the Rare Beauty line. I will say I am pleasantly surprised. I actually like the majority of everything I picked out. There is just a few things that I want to play with a little bit more, such as like the brow pencil. I really want to figure this guy out. And the blushes, they are so pigmented. I really need to go in a little bit more light-handed next time I use them. Let me know in the comments down below if you have tried anything from the Rare Beauty line or your thoughts on it, if you're gonna try it, if you're not gonna try it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post here every Tuesday and Friday. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.